Alright guys, welcome to episode 15 of Multiblock Madness. Today we got a bunch of stuff to do, mostly infrastructure I think, because we need to set up our ME system. We've had this for a couple episodes now. As you can see, I did add a couple of crafting CPUs, so technically I could request things to craft if I had things to craft. But for now, obviously we can't do that because we have no machines hooked up. I've made some ME interfaces and I'm working on making some more, but while we let some of this stuff cook up, like the quartz glass, which is actually just the most obnoxious thing to cook up, let's go ahead and set up something passive that will help us very much so in the long run. Let's set up a cobblestone generator. I'd also love some of these overclocker upgrades. Let me see if there's any easy ones that I can make. So I went ahead and made this cobblestone generator right here. We are going to, should we place it on this or should we place it somewhere else? I think right here will work just fine. Then I'm going to have 2 grinders. Let me figure out how I want to set this up optimally and I'll be right back. So I've just been introduced to something cool. Apparently grinders from Tech Reborn suck. They turn cobblestone directly into sand for some reason, skipping completely over the very commonly accepted gravel step, so I guess we only have sand and cobblestone in this generator? I mean, fine, I guess. It's better than... I literally have an axe, what am I doing? Better than nothing, but still not good. It's okay, I still have the option of going over here, tossing in a ton of stacks of cobblestone, now that I actually have a cobblestone generator, and getting gravel this way. And there we go. This is this little system, this little drawer controller. Also, sorry, it's storming outside if you're hearing stuff in the background. Ooh, that was a loud one, actually. So we have cobblestone, sand, and I'm also creating clay in this fluid infuser. It uses a lot of power, but hopefully we can upgrade our power today as well. Just dirt in water turns into clay, which we're going to need a bunch of because we're going to be making the dense ME conduits. These guys, they use a lot of flukes, a lot of glass cable, but mostly a lot of this conduit binder, which is clay, gravel, sand, grains of infinity, which we should all have a bunch of very soon. Okay, here we go. Things have changed slightly around here. I ripped up some machines that I didn't need. The, what's it called? The diesel generator, I guess. I just kind of ripped up that entire process because it wasn't worth it. It was barely providing enough power to power itself. I think we need to do the distillation tower in order to do that, but I know we're going to need that to do that eventually, but we'll set that up later. I got to skip through it because I was that update behind and I got a little bit too progressed when they added it to the progression. Anyways, why don't we... Oh yeah, I also hooked up a bunch of machines to the AE system, and now I can craft, I think, just a couple of things. I can make patterns, just like this. Say, hey, I want 10 patterns. It'll make me 10 patterns, actually. Make me 10 patterns. Oh, that was actually really quick. I guess I had most of this stuff in storage. But as you can see, it's actually going through crafting the wires. It'll use the assembling machine to craft the basic coils over here. And yeah, we've got a good couple of things automated. Even though these machines are still really slow and we want to get the overclocker upgrades as soon as possible. I'd also like to get this jetpack pretty soon, but that will require us to get into mechanism, which requires a bunch of electrical steel, which I now have, because you can make it in the induction furnace now. One really cool thing we can do now that we have applied energistics is I can do a interface here. I called this miniaturization. I almost definitely spelled that word wrong because I'm an idiot and don't feel like working it up or looking it up. And then we can tell this to only go up. That's what that does when you whack it with a hammer. As you can see, I've used that in places here, so I can shove machines really close to one another. And then we'll throw things into a chest. And I actually want to make some steel casings right now. And I didn't actually put the recipe into here. Wow, my mouse acceleration just went crazy there. I crafted up all the ingredients for 5, so what we should see is every ingredient should get shoved into here. Then we can just take this and I don't know if I made the capsule, but we can take the capsule, cap them up, and make them in the field. Now I've got the capsule. There we go. Place that in there, throw the processor in, everything for this process is automated except for the collection of resources. Basically, I put all of the recipes in there. Ooh, I really like this preview, honestly. Ooh, give me that, please. There it is, thank you. And now things are about to become a lot more anticlimactic. I'm going to start ordering machines, and I'm going to put as many things into our Applied Energistic system just so we can have a big backlog of items that I no longer need to put in for bigger crafts. So, Allergic Infuser right here. Thank you, that should be a quest complete. Also, with this quest right here, I'm realizing something. We might be able to go for a new power generation option. I do need new power generation, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the beginning of this episode, but I think what we can do is we can do ethylene using mechanism into advanced generators, which is, ethylene is apparently an incredibly dense energy resource. We could probably power 4 or 5 max size advanced turbines with just a singular ethylene production line. Do I want to use, I think I'm going to continue using the Tech Reborn circuits for the time being in recipes, or wait, let's do this and allow substitutions. I think that'd be good. Alright, I've got all this newfound room back here. I'm definitely not going to need this many profiling benches. I'm going to get rid of a couple of them. I'll keep 6 should be enough. There are a lot of different things from the rock hounding mod that we're going to need eventually later when we actually do start getting truly into the rock hounding mod. But let's go ahead and throw this right here. We need to start with an ender voir to get the water for the electrolytic separator, which will separate water into hydrogen and oxygen, its components. So we'll empty some water into there. We'll tell it to go directly into this, if it will. It does not appear that it will, so let's just go ahead and add a conduit. The next step is to take that water and oxygen and throw it into tanks, because I'm pretty sure I think they're technically gases in this state, so we'll need gas tanks. And let me gather some of this stuff up, and I should be good to go. Can I upgrade these just a little bit, please? Alright, here we go. We've got hydrogen, and we've got oxygen. Oxygen, I believe, is going to be the thing we want to avoid excess. Let's go ahead and check really quickly. Actually, I need to look up the ethylene line. We do this ethylene, yeah, hydrogen is used to make substrate, and then oxygen is used with ethylene to make HDPE. We're not going to do that. We'll just store the substrate and make HDPE later on demand. I don't think we're going to actually need that much HDPE, but we might need some plastics, it seemed like. I don't know, one of the quests in here says, hey, make plastics. Next, we have this crusher, which I'm feeding melons. I'm just feeding it from this interface and filtering melons in so it doesn't steal any outputs from the metal presses. I thought that would be cheaper than actually making a whole nother IMI interface for it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this and tell it to output auto eject into the drawer, and biofuel should go here. This reacts in the pressurized reaction chamber with a little bit of hydrogen and, is it water? I literally just looked this up. I'll figure that out to make the substrate and the ethylene. Here we go. This is the pressurized reaction chamber setup. Water is getting shoved into it from this side. Hydrogen is coming into it from this side with the gas conduit, which is actually kind of useful that they've added Ender IO gas conduits for mechanisms specifically, because gas is not a liquid, as you might imagine. Now we're producing substrate and ethylene. And now I'm pulling the ethylene out of here into some pressurized tubes. There was actually an issue with the gas conduits. It was turning the ethylene into hydrogen for some reason when I extracted from the pressurized reaction chamber. Not sure how that was happening, but the pressurized tubes seem to work perfectly fine and well. We're getting quite a bit of ethylene in here. For some reason, it looks like there's ethylene in this tube. There actually isn't, but this one looks entirely empty. We're getting liquid ethylene now pretty quickly, 1.7 buckets already, and this stuff is incredibly energy dense, so let's take a look at advanced generators. It should be in the pack, right? Oop, Advanced. Yes, here it is. Okay, perfect. We want the gas intake valves, and this stuff is, ooh, these look like standard recipes. We'll probably want to go for HSLA is 1,000, super alloy is 3,000, iron is 200, extreme alloy is 2,000. What is going to be best? We could do Enderium. I think HSLA is actually going to be the easiest to do, because HSLA is actually pretty cheap. It's 15 to 1 iron to carbon manganese blend, and manganese and graphite aren't the most expensive things in the world. Manganese comes from crushing up tungsten ore or manganese ingots, and I'm pretty sure I just straight up have a bunch of manganese ingots that I made a long time ago. Alright, and we're back. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit tired. I just woke up a little bit ago, but I did a bunch of crafting for all of the advanced generator stuff, so now what I should be able to do is, actually I probably don't want that down right there. I want the flux, no, I want the gas intake valve here, and then we can put the turbine controller there. These things can be assembled in any manner of ways. You just have to, assemble them, make sure everything is touching, and everything should be good to go. I'm going to throw a pressurized fluid conduit down to here, and that doesn't take in the gas. Oh, it's incomplete, so if I throw one of these down, it should become complete, and then it should connect, right? No. What? Okay, weird thing. I connected up to the ethylene line right here, and as you can see, it does connect into the gas intake valve, but it auto-converts it into liquid ethylene for burning, but it won't take this liquid ethylene natively. I guess we'll find a place to put the liquid ethylene anyways, whatever. It's perfectly fine. So we are producing a maximum of 1,000 RF per tick, and as you can see, we've already filled up the internal buffer, which is just fine. In order to make this thing a little bit better, what we can do is add this fuel-air mixer and the gas mix compressor, just like that. That will increase our fuel efficiency up from insane to holy crap, why is this even allowed in the game? And then we can just start throwing more stuff on top of it. So what I'll probably end up doing is changing this over just a little bit and start just layering turbines on top like this. And as you can see, max peak reduction, 10,000 RF per tick. There's another issue though. That doesn't connect. This might be the wrong block. Ah yes, there we go, the forge energy emitter. It's like a 50-50. There are 2 energy emitting blocks in this pack, and I don't know. Apparently this will also only create RF in bursts of a lot, I guess. Or I guess it can only work for a minimum of a second. But anyways, we're using 0.9 millibuckets per tick, or let me do some math actually. At 0.9 millibuckets per tick, we will use a bucket every 55 seconds at peak production, which is really not that much. So this is going to be our power generation source for quite some time probably. And I'm going to make one more turbine because I don't like how that looks. These things aren't that expensive to craft because HSLA steel is actually incredibly cheap to craft. I did also make a bunch more conduits, these Ender energy conduits, which should be just a good enough conduit to probably finish off the pack for most things. They can dump a lot of energy, just like the mechanism conduits. I think is it max output? I don't know. We can connect these to multiple sides of machines, which is super great. Let me get that other turbine right here, and I'm going to start replacing all of the conduits in my base with these new and improved cool Ender energy conduits. Oh, and I have some Ender IOs. These things are super cool. I can't eat them because I'm not hungry. What I'm going to do actually, rather than running a whole new conduit line all the way down there, like I did the first time, I'm just going to put this capacitor bank here, and that will connect up all of this stuff to here as well as over there, because we have a couple power drawers over there. Yeah, and then I guess I'll just throw a couple of these Spectre coils back on, but they're not going to be a significant source of power for us for, like, the rest of the pack. They're just kind of a little bit of cake. And there we go, I'm pretty sure. Seriously? Like, straight up. Actually, right as I start recording. Come on. Seriously? Oh my god. I'm pretty sure every single conduit here is replaced with the new conduits, even the ones running to our ME system over here, so we should be good. That gave me very much Omnifactory vibes, because we had to replace conduits a lot in that pack. Yeah, so to reward myself for my hard work, I think we'll make some, we'll eat some of these. I thought they gave you... Wait, that was supposed to be funny. I thought they gave you bad effects. It's just a really good food in this pack? That's lame. But now that we have so much energy production, I can do fun things like to accelerate this 6 times. I believe that's 128 times speed. And we can craft things up in the industrial blast furnace very quickly. Let's actually see how much this is sucking from here. It is only sucking 5,500 RF per tick, and our base generation is somewhere around 1,000. So this is only using like 3,000 something RF per tick, which used to be like double our actual RF production, but now it's like maybe like 1/8, maybe 1/8. Now that we have so much RF, I can actually turn on some of this passive production again. These rock crushers need to go back to work, and I will throw their outputs into here. And is there anything specific we want from these? Probably fluorite, right? Let's fluorite goes in the center. Let's go ahead and void excess, and let's go ahead and nope, void excess. Perfect. Alright, I went ahead and restarted my game because I was getting a ton of lag spikes. I think the memory was overflowing again, or whatever that thing is called. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. But I did also install Applied Energistics 2 Trousers Edition, which, if you didn't know, is made for Omnifactory to kind of help out that pack. But it has a lot of really cool features that apply to all of Applied Energistics and can really help make Applied Energistics a lot more enjoyable and easy and useful to use. The main thing that's been added recently that I actually really want to start implementing, especially in this pack, because it's not very expensive, it's just an interface and a card like this. I do need to... I tore down my processors. I need to make better processor setup soon. I want to make these advanced subscribers. Anyways, what I want to do is throw these in whatever interface needs some more patterns. You can have up to, I guess it's 36 patterns in an interface, which should be enough for pretty much any machine. Like this plate press will eventually get replaced by something else, but we can keep some patterns in here, I guess, for things we don't need to craft very quickly. So yeah, I can do that with any machine I want, any interface I want. I'll probably throw some into this induction smelter as well, because this thing's starting to fill up, and we should just be good to go. What else did I do? I threw in the recipes for the thermal evaporation tower. We need 2 of these, so let's go ahead and craft up 2 there, and I'm going to need 4 here, and I'm going to need, let's just say, 100, and I need to wait for things to craft, and I can go manually speed these things up a little bit. This is the main culprit of being slow. I also went ahead and hooked up this metallurgic infuser to the Applied Energistics system. It has its own enrichment chamber to make compressed redstone. This stuff is 8 times as effective as redstone. You just throw it in the enrichment chamber, it sucks up some power, and it should just be much, much better. And as you can see, we already have 2 stacks backlogged in here, plus whatever, almost another stack in here. So yeah, we're quite good. Aluminum is very expensive, but I just crafted up a ton of it, or I just mined up a ton of it, so we should be good to go there. And we have both of those done, so I'll make 100 of these, and we can make 2 thermal evaporation towers. The reason we need 2 of them is because we're going to need 2 of them eventually anyways. We need to make brine, and then we need to make liquid lithium. Liquid lithium can be turned into lithium, which will be used, I assume, down the line very, very quickly to make a bunch of very important things. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to craft up, why don't we make some nichrome coils so we can get our blast furnace up to 3,000 heat. In order to make nichrome, you need chrome. And how do you get chrome? From rubies. You throw it in here. It slowly electrolyzes, but guess what? Cool thing. We have Oh, that uses a lot of RF. Jeez. Maybe we don't accelerate it 128 times. Maybe like 64 times should be good. But yeah, there we go. We're getting a little bit of chrome in the output here. I can go ahead and compress this in an enrichment chamber, just like this, but I might need to make another one. So I went ahead and made another metallurgy confuser because we'll need one anyways. And apparently these compressed chromes, which are made from chrome ingots, you need to blast furnace the chrome, believe it or not. They give you 400 points per, and it only takes 25 points per nichrome, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna make a full stack of nichrome, and then we can make some of these coils. These are actually, I wonder, how many does it say we need? We need 4 total, so 16 is actually enough. I think my rolling machine is, yep, in here, so we can just toss this down really quickly. Do that, and it should just begin working. I can time the bottle it twice to make it slightly faster, but I am once again out of time in my time in a bottle. And there we go, there's all 4. And we throw these in here, just like that, and we have 3200 heat, which is pretty much max. I already had a couple pieces of titanium and a singular piece of tungsten from End City Rating, so there's one quest out of the way. And now it wants us to get into Ender IO. And we're also getting close to actually being able to use simulation chambers. And the evaporation tower. Ooh, wait, hold on, I just saw something really, really cool. Ooh. We would need to make the assembling machine, which looks like quite the structure, except it's not, it's mostly factory blocks. We could make this very, not very easily, but fairly easily. And then we could make a builder, which would mine so much stuff for us. We need to make liquid nitrogen, which would be obnoxious, but I think we can handle it. Just gathered up all of the thermal evaporation tower stuff. I'm going to grab the resistive heater as the quest reward, because that's much simpler. You need, I would need to make extra advanced solar generators. I would need 8 total. I don't want to make 6 more. That sounds terrible. We can also electrolyze brine in order to make, sodium, chlorine, oxygen, hydrogen, deuterium, and oxygen, which is cool. Wait, no. We can only make sodium and chlorine. We probably want both of these things, though. Anyways, let's go ahead and set this bad boy up. And that might be the end of the episode, actually, and then we'll get on the quarry grind very soon. These are odd multi-blocks in that they're 2x2 internal, which is, obviously you can't have a center if it's 2x2 internal, but, whatever. Kind of obnoxious. We're going to do probably valves here. These valves can go exactly anywhere you want. In fact, this can be basically configured with any way you want. I think the thermal evaporation controller just can't be on the bottom or top block. And we just do this, and does that form it? No, I think we need one more layer. I don't think you need a top on these bad boys, but that should form the multi-block. Perfect. Its temperature is really quite low right now, even though, I guess, 300 Kelvin, that's a little bit hotter than freezing. Actually, that's probably the normal temperature. Let's do 1 second. I don't know Kelvin very well. I am exercise science, not a actual scientist. And there we go. And I can make these guys taller, should I want to, but for now, this should be fine. We need to, I think we need to put these on, put the heat on valves. So let me make 2 more valves really quickly, and I'll throw this resistive heater like right here. All right, valve here, resistive heater, just like that, and it is sucking some energy, which means this should be going up. Okay, perfect. We do want to use more than 40 RF per tick. Let's go for 500 RF per tick, actually, and then we'll need to, of course, plug in our machines with the Ender energy conduit. Bye-bye, torch. Apparently can't be plugged in on that side. Weird, okay. How about this side? How about this side? Okay. It's clear that this thing doesn't want to be plugged in. Where's my wrench? There's my wrench. And it won't be turned. All right, here we go. Plug it in. And perfect. We need to set this back to 500 RF per tick. And it's dissipating 1.36 millikelvin, which is, just just a little bit of heat. And these things are getting hotter, and believe it or not, the next thing we need to do is pump water into them. We now have access to the sink, which is from the Pam's Harvest Craft mod. It provides infinite water, and there is a fishy in this sink, which means it does provide water to recipes. What we're gonna do is actually replace some of these conduits with fluid laser relays. Believe it or not, these guys, as cheap as they are, you just, atomic reconstruct the energy laser relays. You can make these so early on in the pack. These provide an infinite throughput of water. So this is going to be the source, and these are going to be the sinks, and we just need a laser wrench in order to configure this. The only downside to the laser relays of any kind, item, fluid, whatever, is that, you need a compass and a laser to connect things. So you gotta do this, and then everything's connected and should be getting water. And actually, we're starting to produce brine already at almost 10 millibuckets per tick, which is way faster than we're going to use it. Let me get one little piece of concrete right here, fill that in, and I guess I can get rid of this ender ore as well. We can use this somewhere else for some other reason. These laser relays actually do have a very long range, so we could technically just spam these throughout our base, but I think they look kind of stupid when you have to walk through them and stuff, and I kind of want this base to look cool, so we probably won't end up doing that. But here is a great place. Next, we're not going to use laser fluid relays. We can just use these ender fluid conduits, and we'll suck out of here, throw into here, and this should begin making liquid lithium at also 10 mil buckets per tick. We'll backlog on this. I'll probably just backstuff this thermal evaporation tower, and then we'll start using the brine. This might actually take a little longer than expected, but like maybe 15 minutes. That's because I believe the ratio from brine to lithium is actually 10 to 1 instead of the 1 to 1 that I kind of expected it to be. So yeah, I'm gonna let this run for a while, hook it up. It's literally free. I mean, I guess it's 500 RF per tick, but 500 RF per tick is literally free. I believe I made more turbines, or no, I already installed them. Yeah, but in between the last clip and now, I did throw storage buses on a couple of these drawer controllers we have around. I haven't storage bussed up this guy yet. I need to put some oak saplings in here so we can start having a steady source of wood, because that's actually going to become an issue very quickly, because, I don't really have a source of wood. Let's look in here. Yeah, I have just a bunch of random pieces of wood, and I want to be able to put oak wood in all of my recipes. So anyways, that's probably going to be the end of the video. I know we didn't set up the Tech Reborn machines, but we'll get around to that next time. Applied Energistics was definitely the important part of this video, and now I can autocraft most things if I just go mining here and there. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.